Hello, this is Ruth and I'm back with another video for Tonic Studios. This is what's going to be available in the 4th edition of the official Tonic Studios magazine. So I'm going to make some things with this. I'll show you through it first, and then whenever the video is finished I'll be publishing it at the same time as the magazine will be available on the Tonic Studios websites. So I thought before I start my commission and before I start making the things that I'm making for the magazine, I'd let you see what's here, let you see what's in it, and then I'll follow that up afterwards. You'll be able to see all the instructions in the actual magazine, but I thought I'd like to follow it up like I've done in the past couple of editions with a little video to show you just how I've made it and as I've gone along. So I hope you enjoy this too, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be able to see this and see whatever else is coming up behind it, because I might, if I get time, do a follow-up video as well. So here we are, and the main part of this is a beautiful large snowflake die. It's actually a complete set of snowflake dies here, so you can see that there's this large outer die. I'm going to make a shaped card with that one, and then we've got some inner dies and beautiful layering snowflakes, and these ones that fill in around the outside as well. And then there are some other layered snowflakes with the outside and the inside, and then this small one, and then this very, very small one up here. So really beautiful. And then these ones, which make, I think they make baubles, but I'll be having a look at the closer look at those once I start to die cut them. And then this one, which makes a beautiful rosette. Now I've already gone ahead, the only thing that I have done actually so far, I've gone ahead and die cut this shape out. So I've done that twice in beautiful Chilli Red Craft Perfect card, and then I've joined them together because you can see these are all score lines here, and whenever you've burnished those and score them and burnish them and then glue them together onto a little circle at the back, you get this beautiful rosette shape. And then I've put this tiny snowflake here in silver into the center, and that's really beautiful. So that's the die set. We've also got this lovely stamp set. I'll just move the dies off there and you can see this better. So we've got Christmas Wishes, Merry and Bright, 'Tis the Season, and then these ones that I presume, because they look like they fit into the centers of these dies here, so that could be very interesting in a minute or two when I get a little play with that. And then we've got this beautiful stencil, so that a lovely snowflaked edge on it. I think you can, yeah, you should be able to see that there. I can hold it up a little better. And then we've got lovely stars across here, a beautiful snowflake with a flourish on it there. Maybe we could see that against the red better. That's better. This is the piece of card that I cut the rosette shape out of. So these beautiful baubles, and then as I said, the snowflake flourishes, the star pattern, and this beautiful snowflake edge across there. And then we've got the papers, and I'll just lift these over because they're really beautiful quality, like all the Tonic magazine papers have been so far. And I can feel underneath here there's some toppers as well. So these are double-sided, and there we've got lovely holly, and then this beautiful red and white pattern on the back, and then a leaf pattern here with lovely foliage on the back of that, snowflakes, baubles, snowflakes and stripes, and more baubles, and a beautiful pattern on there. And then I think, no, that's a different one again. I always love spotty paper, so that's really lovely. And then these baubles and foliage on the back, and then that's us back to the beginning again. So there are repeats of the same patterns then. Then we come to this part, and there are some pre-cut toppers. So you can see they're already, I'll just show you here, they're already pre-cut into the sheet, and all you need to do is pop them out. I don't want to do that just yet so I don't lose any of them before I start to do my cards up. But we've got Merry Christmas, Best Wishes, Merry and Bright, and lots of lovely sentiments there, snowflakes and baubles, and then they're foiled on the other side, and that is really beautiful. And then we've got these ones, which are toppers of Merry and Bright, Deck the Halls, Hello Winter, 'Tis the Season, Let It Snow, lots of these, and foiled, oops, the daisies, foiled again on the other side. So, enough of that. I'll set all this away and I'll start creating with that, and I'll come back in a little while and finish off the video, and I'm not sure when at this stage when it'll be published, but we'll see you there. First of all, to create the shaped card, I've taken the largest snowflake die, and then I've taken a sheet of A4 smooth white card. So this is 300 GSM, so it's nice and sturdy, and I folded it in half, scored it, and then I've set the die on top of it, so you can see there where it's just over the edge slightly, and maybe you could see that on top of this a bit better too. So the die is actually coming over the edge of the card slightly, and that way these pieces will be hinged and it doesn't cut two separate pieces. It will cut this out in one piece whenever I run this through my die cutting machine. So I'll just run this through the Tangerine and be back with that. There it is, cut out now, and I've got a little card that stands up, but it's snowflake shaped and it's hinged at the top. And a little tip, I've just left this in here because my Tangerine plates have been heavily used and are quite marked. It doesn't matter on a normal card, it doesn't matter at all, but whenever I'm putting something double thickness like this through, it could mark the back of it whenever there's quite a bit of pressure put on because there's two pieces of card. So what I've done is I've just put a piece of paper between the plate and the card, and then it's perfect on the back. So I hope that helps. The patterns for the outside of the snowflake are all slightly different. So you'll need to cut the same one in around there 6 different times. So what I've done is I've just taped this in so that it's nice and even at the side. I've taped the smaller die to the larger die, and then when I set that down and cut it through the die cutting machine, I can then lift that off and move the whole thing around, and I know it's going to be exactly in the proper place because you can feel this die in place here. It sort of locks into place, so this does the same here, and this is going to be even, and then just put it through your die cutting machine. When you've got that piece all cut out, then you can use the same outside die that you used for the red snowflake and cut just the plain silver snowflake and glue this one directly on top, and it will match absolutely perfectly because it's the same outline shape. And then you can glue that directly onto here, and that will give you the card base, and it also means that you won't see any of this because the three little pieces, sorry, where that was folded over aren't shown now that this is on top. And then you can go ahead with just one size down in the large snowflake die. You'll find it just inside that in the set there, and when you've done that, cut that out in this beautiful polka dot red paper from the magazine kit and glue that on top there. You can then use the same die that you used to cut this polka dot paper out with and cut a piece of acetate. So you can see I've got the acetate there, and then you can also cut out a piece of this other red patterned paper from the pack, and then put the smaller snowflake die into the centre and put it down again and cut an aperture. And then when you've got this piece done, which is the kind of frame, then you can glue the acetate onto the back of that. And then what I've done with the dimensional pads there is I've just cut these ones in half and put them right around the aperture, and then popped some onto the edges here as well. So if you look closely there, you'll see that there's no gaps at all in between that, and that way then any of the sequins or anything that I'm putting in there won't be able to escape out. And then I'm going to sprinkle some candy cane sequins into the centre here. Now I know that this part isn't too big, so I don't want to add loads and loads of them. Now normally I put the sequins in here and then add the back over, but this time I'm just doing it a little differently. I should have said with the acetate, what I did was I set the dye on top of the acetate and then ran it through my die cutting machine a couple of times, and the dye didn't actually cut the whole way through, so I just went around the outline of it with a pair of scissors, and that worked really well, and I got the exact shape and size that I needed. Now I want to add my sentiment on top of that, so I've taken this little die and I've cut that out in silver, and then the Let It Snow, and I've cut that out in red. I've glued them both together, and I'm just going to pop that into the centre, and I always have to just double check that I've got the top facing the right way when I put this on, so just glue on the back of that and into the centre of the acetate, like so. Now it always takes a moment or two for the glue to grab on top of acetate, but don't worry, just take your time with that one. Then the card's actually really nice just the way it is, but I thought it was Let It Snow, and you know there's lots of snowflakes and things there, and I just thought I would go for a more is more instead of a less is more this time. So I've taken this gorgeous little snowflake die here and some more of the candy cane sequins, and I've cut this out for each of these points here and glued a little sequin on top, and I'm just going to glue one of those to each point, and that's that card done. When I was making this card, I got to a certain point and then I dithered as to how I should finish it, so the next few steps that I'm going to add in are actually edited in, because it was never going to end up like this at all. My card was initially going to end up as this. So it's the same basic shape, but you can see I've added the rosette on there and the Let It Snow and whatever. So the next few steps in the video are how I made this card. And then to make the rosette for the centre of this, we'll take this die and cut that out twice and fold it in mountain and valley fold along all those little score lines, and just make sure they're reinforced really well with your little bone folder or whatever. Now the flat piece at the end here, you'll if you can see there just how I have folded it, so that's flat, and then we'll do a valley and a mountain and the whole way along that, and do that twice. And then all you need to do then is glue on this little strip. I'll just show you here. Just add the glue in behind there and then pop that over the top and hold it. So just let that catch properly before you go any further, but you will see if you have folded that properly how that's just continuous then the whole way around. And then do exactly the same here. We'll pop some glue on this end and put that in behind there, and just hold it until the glue grabs. I find the easiest way to make the rosette up then is to punch a circle to put in behind it and pop some glue. Oh, I need some more in there. Pop some hot glue from your glue gun out into the centre of the circle, just like that, and then I'll set that over to the side, and where you've this folded up, you just want to place that right over there and push the centre in, and if you hold that down and right on top of that glue, then all you need to do is hold that in place until that glue dries. That'll only take a minute or two. And then you can take this and glue it by the circle, just by adding some glue onto that circle or whatever you have in behind that to hold it, and put that in the centre then, and just remember to line it up. Keep it all nice and even. That's it. And then I've taken these two dies, so this is the outer one and this one which says Let It Snow, and I have cut one out in the silver glitter to match in with this, and then the Let It Snow in red, and I'm going to add that on there. And I think the best way for doing that, just to make sure it grabs in the centre there, is by putting quite a bit of glue. You could do this with your hot glue gun or whatever, but there's a little hollow in the centre there, so I am going to add some glue in. I've turned my hot glue gun off right away there just after I used it, so if I'd left it on I probably would have used it, but there we are. And I'm going to add that right on top there because Let It Snow is just a lovely sentiment to add to the snowflake. And there we are. So for my second card I have taken the Teapots and Teacakes die set. That's this one, and I've used 2 of the dies to start off this card. So the largest die in the set there, I've used that to make a card blank. So what I've done is I've folded the card over the way I did in the first one, and then set this off the edge, and you'll be able to see there that when I ran that through the die cutting machine, through my Tangerine, this piece was over the top edge again as it was in the first card, and it left that part intact. So I've now got a fold there and a beautiful shaped card. Because I know this has different amounts of sides on it, we've got a layering die to fit on it, and I wanted to add that so that I could add the patterned paper on and then add a snowflake. So I've cut the layered paper, the patterned paper, and yes, I'll go that way with it. So this card is hinged so that it could actually stand one way or the other. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do it this way. And then I have used this large snowflake die. I've actually got 2 taped together here, but it's the outer one, as you can see here. And I've cut myself that shape in red. A lovely big red snowflake there. And then I've used the 2 together, that's why these are taped together here. And I've cut that out then in silver, and that makes exactly the same size then, so I can go ahead and glue that on top of there. Then I have taken the beautiful snowflake shape, that's this one, the outer sort of outside thicker outline one, and I've cut that in red, and that's going in there. And then I have cut the other one, this beautiful one here, and I've cut that in silver, and I'm going to pop that in there. And you see the red just shows that off each time, because the silver would just be lost if it was set on top there. And then I have taken the tiny little snowflake die. So I had 2 or 3 punched out for this, or die cut for this, but I decided on this tiny little one here, and I've cut that in red, and that's going to go in the center there. And then I like to keep my cards it's kind of coordinated, so that little sequin is going to go on top there, and then that will bring all that together where I've got the red and silver. Although it's a different patterned paper there, I've got the red and silver in the sequin, and that ties everything together. So all I need to do now is go ahead and glue all of that up. That's it finished. So that's 2 cards. Now for my other magazine makes, I was asked to do all 2D makes, so there's not an awful lot of dimension on these, but this is supposed to be a tag to hang on a Christmas tree, and you can write a little memory on the back. So I just want to show you how I have made that. I haven't filmed how I've done it, but I just want to tell you what I've done. So I've taken this die for the outline, and I've cut that out twice in white, and you'll see why in a minute or two. And then I've taken this one, and I've used this along with this again, cut that out in silver glitter card, and I've glued the silver glitter card onto one of the white ones. Then I've taken this little bauble die and this pattern, and what you do is you cut this into your card, and you can tape this in on one side, and then when you cut that out, you move this over and you cut the other side out, and then you'll get this lovely little this little bauble in the center here. So I've glued that on top here, and then what I've done is I've taken this long die that's supposed to be for the rosette. So I die cut this shape, and then I cut this off, and I cut it off so that from this point to the back here is 4 centimeters. And then I put that into my little scoring board and just set it here at 1/2 centimetre, and I scored down there, as you can see, at 1/2 centimetre, and that then left me a little line that I could use as a guide. Do you see it there? So from here on I just went with the other score lines and snipped up to that guide. So I've left the 1/2 centimetre at the top, and I've snipped the whole way along there. And I've done that right along to the end, and then put this into my quilling tool and twirled it around and added a strip of glue down this part, down here, and made this little tassel with the lovely shaped end on it. And I added just a little 1/2 centimetre strip of gold glitter card around there. And then I poked a piece of red chili twine, baker's twine, down in there and glued it in, and I glued it to the back of the first white card. I then punched a hole up at the top and added some chili red ribbon in a little loop. And then this is where the second white card came in. I have glued it over the back, and then that covered where this joined here, and it also covered the back of this. And I was asked to write a little memory or something on the back of that, so that's why I've written Our First Christmas Together. And then when I had that done, I've added some lovely candy cane sequins onto the top of that. Those are really lovely, and they just give that a little lift. Again, you could add a lovely three-dimensional centre into that. Because I was asked to keep mine all 2D, I didn't do that, but you can make a shorter one of these, just cut that off and make a lovely little centrepiece for that as well if you want. That's just another idea. And then the fourth thing, that I was asked to make was a bookmark or a tag for a Christmas book. So for this one I have called in another little die set. That's this one, the Entwined Embellishment Stained Glass Window Strip. That's a bit of a mouthful, but there you are, there's the die set. And what I've done is I've only used the outside edges. So I've cut the actual bookmark shape from the larger one, and I've cut that out twice, and then I've used the smaller one and cut this polka dot red paper and put that on top. And then I have used some of these snowflake dies, so it's this outside one again here, and I've cut that out in the red patterned paper and the red plain paper, set one on top of the other, and then just offset it so that you can see the pattern there. The two are not directly on top of each other, but just offset. And then I took smaller snowflakes, so I've got this one. I've actually put this large one in silver glitter card in first, and then this tiny one in the centre. And then at the top left of your die set, you'll see this little combination. It's two dies together. So you'll get a plain snowflake with this outer one, and then the detail with this one. And I've cut that out twice in silver glitter card, and then added my tiny little snowflake again in here and here. And this time I haven't added the sequins because this is for a gift tag, but also I wanted it to be able to be used for a bookmark, so you don't want any dimension in that. Then you can see here again, down these edges, I have die cut two more of these shapes, but I've left this slightly longer this time. I've left this to 1.5 centimeters wide, and just nipped it off at the length of the bookmark, and I've glued it onto the back. I've cut out two of them and glued them onto the back there, and then I've taken the other white die cut and put that right over the back to cover that. And then I punched a hole and added some red chili twine. So that's quite a few things there, and all very different, and I'm sure that lots of the other girls who are making the things for the magazine will have done some beautiful things as well, but I'm really pleased with that. So we've got the shaker card, the other card with the rosette on the front. That's not for the magazine, but these are. So you'll see this one, which is the snowflake shaped card, then this octagonal one, and the bookmark, and the Christmas tree tag, and they'll all be in the magazine, and I hope you really enjoy it. I'll have my affiliate links down below, so that if any of you are interested in buying that, you'll know where to get it, and I will get a little commission from those links, but it won't cost you any more if you'd like to use them, and I really appreciate everybody who does. So thank you once again. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you want, and hit the notification bell so that you can see any further videos that come up. And thank you so much in the meantime. Happy crafting. Bye bye.